Anybody like Westerns? This week I'm reviewing The Wild Bunch on AFI 100 Greatest American Films. Hi, this is Seth Welling, and today I'm reviewing The Wild Bunch. The Wild Bunch was an epic Western that came out in 1969. The Wild Bunch was directed by Sam Peckinpah, who also wrote the screenplay with Wayne Green and Roy N. Signer. It filmed in Mexico. It stars William Holden, Robert Ryan, Ernest Borgnine, Edmund O'Brien, Ben Johnson, and Warren Oates. The Wild Bunch is known for its quick editing, slow motion, and multi-camera styles. Slow motion was new in 1969. It was filmed in Technicolor and Panavision. The Wild Bunch was nominated for Best Screenplay and Best Original Score at the Academy Awards. In 1999, the National Film Registry selected The Wild Bunch to be added to the Library of Congress film collection. The Wild Bunch occupies the 80th position on the 1998 list and the 79th position on the 2007 list. The Wild Bunch is set in 1913, 2 years before World War I started. It's a tale of the last of the cowboys clinging to a lifestyle that time forgot, battling against a world that had moved on without them. Peckinpah made this movie to contrast one of the differences he saw that set the 19th and 20th century apart. He wanted to explore how killing had become a mechanical task instead of a personal one. One of the most famous lines in the movie was, "We gotta start thinking beyond our guns." To me, this is a double-edged statement. One, they knew that the time is past and they have to think about solving their problems with diplomacy to be able to exist in a new century. And also, they're getting older and they can't fight like the way they used to. The reason why I think Peckinpah, Green, and Signer said this movie in 1913 is because World War I is coming. Though no one would know it for 3 years because news wasn't instant like it is now. For more than half of my life, I thought that World War I is one of the most interesting times in world history. When I was a kid, I liked World War II because America really started to take center stage in the world. I was 11, and as I got older, I learned that World War I had the most technological advances for it, and because of it, tanks started to replace marching battalions. Motorcycles and trucks replaced horses and wagons. Airplanes both replaced balloons and acted like warships of the air. Telephones were used during the war, as were flamethrowers, machine guns, and poison gas. It was possible to kill people from miles away by using bombs or gas. After the war, surgical advances made survival more possible, so prosthetics and plastic surgery aided disabled veterans. But that was just a start because Peckinpah knew from history that the old ways of sporadic violence carried out on a personal level was being replaced by institutional violence carried out under the auspices of nation building and reputation for the good of humanity. Sometimes wars are both. I believe that World War II was carried out for the good of humanity, and it helped build our nation into a world power. Vietnam, on the other hand, started out as a war for the good of humanity to defeat communism. But we were always going to lose that war because you can't have a physical war against an idea and hope to win. You can defeat a man like Kaiser Wilhelm or Hitler, but you can't defeat an idea in the same way, because if you defeat one person with an idea, another person will rise up with the same idea. This is what's happening to our current war on terror. Bin Laden's gone, but 10 would-be Bin Ladens have risen up to take his place. You fight a person with people. You fight ideas with other ideas. In a Wild Bunch, Pike betrays Thornton in the beginning, and the act comes back to bite him. In a way, this makes sense. He has a sense of dread, and he feels his road is coming to an end. But he also can deal with what's happening because he understands it. This doesn't happen in a modern war. At best, in a modern war, people fight people from foreign lands whom they probably don't understand. They get to see them relatively up close, see them die, and it's assumed that they just can move on from that because they don't have any connection. But that can be worse, because without any connection, people don't even know what they're sacrificing for. They don't know why their buddies are dying around them, because they are not part of the equation. They are just a tip of the sword, and may make them feel powerless. The Native Americans gave thanks for their kills. It was their way to take in what just happened and to release it from their minds in an effort to try to heal. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But it's healthier than bottling it up inside. When the Wild Bunch came out, people protested. They wanted a pro-war movie to be proud of because Vietnam was wearing on our country. What Peckinpah delivered was a realistic view of war and its consequences, instead of a piece of propaganda meant to show that might makes right. The very reason why people protested this movie is the reason why it's a classic today. War isn't fun. War is not a game, video, or football, and that's how Washington wanted us to view it. War costs lives, lovers, and it should be the last straw that sends us to war, not the first opportunity. Lastly, we should be careful what we are teaching our children about war, because glorifying it too many times can lead to the shot that ends us when we least expect it. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, visit my links in the comment box below, and thanks for watching.